2 years, but the work started on it from last 3 years. Now it has reached a stage where its impact is very, very visible, both to the bankers as well as to the beneficiaries. The financial inclusion and DBT, as has been defined in Madhya Pradesh, is not restricted only to the devolution of funds, but it is making available all the financial products, including a high scope of financial literacy. With this into it, and with a low density of population in Madhya Pradesh, it was very, very important that the approach which we adopt as we are moving ahead for the financial inclusion has to take care of the areas which are remote, have to take care of the access. So it was worked on 3 pillars. One, a database which is multi-utility, which is Samagra, which in the next session my colleagues will be explaining in detail as we move ahead. Now this is a common database of 100% population of Madhya Pradesh. They have completed the job of 90%. And everything, all database, all MIS cutting across different departments is related on this database. Then second step comes is the conduit for the transmission of the funds of all the benefits which are going from the government to an individual. And third, location of the financial institution. Now here the focus was to differentiate between having access to that of gaining access. Madhya Pradesh over last 7 to 8 years have stopped cash disbursements, but yet there was a gap of having access. That is okay, it was going in the accounts, but the financial institution could be 50 to 90 kilometers from their place of residence. The whole scope of the model is we have put at the center the beneficiary, not our convenience. By us, I mean the bankers. By us, I mean the government departments. By us, I mean the various financial institutions who handle the cash transfers. By us, I mean the various departments which work in the silos. So the common database, now there is a nodal department, we have a database, we have already rolled down 100% pension, we have already rolled down the Narega payment 100%. These together, more than 2,500 crores have been devolved through these mechanisms and by this 3 common database. Now, food security is also built up on this database. And next is the health and agriculture, which are in the pipeline and will be joining very soon to use this common database. The second issue is the conduit. Now, there is an issue of non-core banks. And this is very important because post offices and cooperatives were the 2 challenges. Madhya Pradesh went ahead of bringing cooperative banks into the core banking, and they have touched that. So it's only a question of a month or so when 100% transmission in the cooperative bank is through core banking. But because in our system, we are not ignoring the post offices or non-core banking institutions at all. As far as the third point, what we say is access is there, it's fair enough. In access, from what was given at different phases, we had paradigm shift. The norms initially given by RBI and Finance Ministry was population norm. That 2,000 population, you should have a financial institution. Madhya Pradesh made a paradigm shift to the geographical area instead of population. That is, every 5 kilometers you should have, because that is where we gain access than just have access. It is based on a business correspondent model. It is a business model. It was very, very important that all the sectors becomes business viable units. It is important to have a brick and mortar with the name of the bank. Therefore, in each panchayat, 100 square foot area was provided to them with a board of the banks, and that is how it went ahead as we moved. And all products of finance has to be there. The platform that was used was State Level Bankers Committee. So it was a commitment of all bankers as well as government officials as we went ahead with this model. We pursued with the ministries of GOI to ensure that the instructions are synchronous of the various vertical silos from which they were issued. Lead bank officers and district level coordination committees, where again the lead bank officer, all bankers of the district, as well as of the officers of the districts are there. They're actively involved in doing the mapping process. And we coined a term called shadow area. Out of 53,000 villages in Madhya Pradesh, we found 14,676 villages were there which did not have within 5 kilometers either a post office, RRB, or a commercial bank or a cooperative bank. And this is an area which became an area of concern for us, and this is where in every 5 kilometer it was decided to open the USB centers. Now, in these areas, 2998 points were identified, and till date, 2024 points are already opened and they are functional. The advantage of this is, you will be amazed to know, we had an SLBC meeting only on 22nd. Till date, only through these 2024 points, the turnover has been 800 crores. So the bankers here, any doubt you have that it is not financially viable should not be there. For a single person manned financial institute, your turnover has to be 45 lakhs. And here the average comes to more than 1 crore. And there are many of these USPs where my colleagues here have their own first-hand experience where it has crossed that limit. So just to give an example, which has also reflected in the study, there was a direction when DBT came that it will go only to core bankings. Suddenly in some district they started transferring the accounts from the post offices and cooperative banks to the commercial banks, which have very low penetration and which had a problem. The moment the state government became aware of it, again it started a reversal process. So my request is, if these things can be streamlined, it will go a way ahead. Second challenge is financial literacy, which RBI and NABARD have taken an initiative, but it needs a lot of jack-up as we are moving ahead. Then, along with that is completely linked that today we have succeeded in 100% devolution. We have succeeded in savings, but credit and insurance, I think we have still to go a long way as far as these centers are concerned. And the biggest channel we have is the internet connectivity. So this is where now we have either the CMDs or representative of CMDs of all the banks here. Our request to you is that as you are providing a VSAT connectivity to a new branch, you should also give a VSAT connectivity to these ultra small banks which you are opening. Absolutely, you already have contracts in each bank to provide. It has to be extended because it will multifold your transactions at these points. So I think with these introductory remarks, I'd like to thank and welcome all of you to be participant. And as we move ahead in the sessions, we look forward for your suggestions, which will help us to go a long way. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma, for introducing us to Samagra. Ladies and gentlemen, what else can now a common man hope for? Samagra gives a one-stop shop on the dais to jointly release the report on Madhya Pradesh Model of Financial Inclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madhya Pradesh Model of Financial Inclusion is a document. Samriddhi is a document on independent impact study to see and assess how far the objectives have been achieved. What are the lessons learned and what is the plan forward? Madhya Pradesh government indeed feels proud to have been associated with UNDP and all the banks in order to prepare the document and evaluate Samriddhi. We especially thank Lise Grande for being there, for initiating this document. The report, ladies and gentlemen, is the outcome of consultation, a consulting assignment of documenting and evaluating